Well, hello and happy Wednesday. Just a quick reminder before we have a quick discussion about permutations and combinations that you do have a quiz coming up Friday. There's a quiz Friday. On that quiz, you'll be expected to know permutations and combinations, know when to use which, when does order matter, know how to use the formula, and maybe know how to use it without the formula if that's your preferred method. But do recognize the formulas. If you have your notes from yesterday where we wrote down formula versus not formula, you'll want to use that for class today. And if you've forgotten or you don't have it and you need it again, here is, you can pause the video here if you need and take down what you need. But we're going to move on and discuss what you are working on today. So let's take a look at a few of these. I'm not going to do them all because based on our conversations yesterday and the homework that you did, you should be able to complete most or all of these by yourself. So some of you may just skip to the end here and check answers. Some of you are going to need a little bit of a reminder. So I want to go through a couple of these things and then a couple of notes about formula and not formula. So if you are thinking about whether or not order matters, that should always be your first question. So if you're looking at, we have 15 songs on a playlist, and we're going to make this playlist without shuffle, meaning we care what our first song is, we care what the second song is. Maybe this is your playlist for your workout, so you want to have a pump it up song at the particular time in your workout. I don't know. But in this case, order does matter. And when order matters, that's a permutation. Okay, permutation means we care which one is first and which one is second. Since we're going to use all 15, our formula would be a 15 factorial. A formula would be a 15 factorial. If you were going to look at that without the formula, it's kind of hard to cram that in. It would be 15 times 14 times 13 times 12 times 11 times 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6. I'm totally going to run out of room, but you get the idea. Times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So this is definitely a good example where many of you are thinking, I like the formula. But for some of us, counting it without the formula makes more sense in our heads. So with formula, without formula. If you're thinking about the next one, again, we're making a playlist, but from our 15 songs, we're only going to use 6, and we're not shuffling. Since we're not shuffling, it means we care which one is first. We care which one is second. That means the order matters, and it's a permutation. This time, though, of our 15 songs, we're not using 9 of them. We want to divide out 9 factorial. There are 9 songs that we could combine, but we are not using them. We need to divide them out of our calculation. So with the formula, just a reminder, it's the number that you have, and in a permutation, you divide out the number that you are not using. So it's the number you have, the total number. Divide out the number you're not using for a permutation. What that looks like if you were just going to count it, right, we'd have 6 songs. So there'd be a first song, a second song, a third song, a fourth, a fifth, and I have giant handwriting, so you can go ahead and calculate that on your own. For our first choice, we have 15 songs to choose from. Once we've used that 15, or that one, then there are only 14 remaining for our second choice. We've now used 2, so there are 13 for our third choice, 12 for our fourth, 11 for our fifth, and 10 for our sixth choice. Right, so this is what the calculation would look like if we were doing it without the formula. You can see how the formula takes shape, though. Here we have 15 times 14 times 13 times 12 times 10, and we've stopped at times 10 because we've divided out the 9 factorial. Right, so again, thinking to yourself whether or not you prefer to think about it without the formula or with, but do have an idea of how to do both. All right, so this next one, I'm going to let you think through that one on your own because it's very similar to the one we just did. But then jump ahead to this one here, the number of groups of songs of 6 to put on shuffle, meaning we just want to listen to those songs. We don't care what order. Order doesn't matter. So this is a combination. And to do this, with a formula, we divide the number we have by the number we're not using. So in this case, 9. But then we've also got to divide out the number of ways that we could combine the ones we are using, because we don't care if if our Jay-Z song comes first or comes second. I mean, Beyonce then Jay-Z or Jay-Z then Beyonce. We don't care for this particular playlist. So we want to divide out the number of ways we could group those 6 songs. If you're thinking about this without the formula, we're thinking about the 6 songs that we could use. So 15 times 14 times 13 times 12 times 11 times 10. Those are the selections we could make for the 6 songs. And if order mattered, we'd leave it here. But since order doesn't matter, since we want to divide out all the different ways we could arrange those 6 songs, we'll divide that by 6 factorial. All right, so the formula and without the formula calculations may seem, when you're glancing at them, to look different, but they're truly not. You can see here on the top that this is 15 factorial, but 9 factorial has been divided out. We haven't included the times 9, times 8, times 7, etc. It's been divided out. And then the only thing left to do is to divide it by the number of ways we could arrange the 6 items that we have, because we want all those arrangements to be the same. I'm going to leave these last 2. This is thinking about the chorus. I'll give you a big spoiler alert. One's a combination, one's a permutation. Finish those. Do make sure that you work with your calculator to make sure you can compute these. It's not enough to just state the expression in the formula, compute them, and then check your answers with somebody around you. Make sure you're using your calculator correctly for your multiplication, particularly if you are typing in using the factorial. You'll want to make sure that you are using parentheses appropriately. So just double check with people around you, and then do make sure you turn this in at the end of the class period.